OpenAI has acquired Torch, a healthcare startup that unifies lab results, medications, and visit recordings. Bringing this together with ChatGPT Health opens up a new way to understand and manage your health. You've really got to be careful with your health. There are plenty of people not really realizing that when they give their health to AI, that it could in fact, one, hallucinate, two, be composed of answers from losers on Reddit who don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Yeah.
Yet AI has learned from that. Yeah.
What I don't like about this new world that we are in it, whether it's with health or software development, it feels like nobody knows shit. And it feels like there is less and less care for knowing like specifics. It seems like everything is an approximity of truth, but not truth. But truth cannot be just approximately true. It has to be definitely true.
Yeah.
And this is what AI is doing. It is like almost true most of the time. It's not just hallucination. It is some sort of like a soup mix of everything together. And it might sound right. It might be mostly right. But there are so many cases where you don't want a general soup of like truth. You want a definite, maybe even cited, by a human, let's say, expert view on something, like somebody who has made up their mind on something. Sometimes you need that much more than something that is just fuzzy and sort of true.
This is the lamest example, but I was on Instagram and I flick through and I get this story that someone's telling me about the bassist of my favorite band, and he's telling the story about how he came up with the song. And he's talking and he's just saying this story and then just ends the thing. And I'm like, why are we in this world where this person just feels no like desire to say, Mark, the bassist, told this story in an interview with, Rolling Stone. Why they feel no need to cite their sources is wild to me. Like, Mark didn't tell you this story. It's just like, trust me, bro. This is it.
I want to say that. Trust me, bro.
Trust me, bro. And by the way, I think this story is true. And people hammer me in the comments, and I'm like, it might be true. I'm not doubting that it isn't true. Well, I am doubting it's a little bit untrue. But my point is, just cite your sources. Like, we go through our articles here. We show the articles. It's really important for us to show the articles. It's not hearsay. It's not this person said this person said that. Of course, you're allowed your own, interpretations of things, and we're not going to get everything perfect all the time, but I like to think that we show you the source and we talk about that. We're not just like, trust me, bro. And similarly, there's a great annoyingly there's a YouTube channel called Better Stack, and they released a video on the tool search thing. Their video was titled this recent release made Claude 10x faster. Now, there are two problems with that title. One, the tool search tool does not inherently make MCPs faster. It doesn't make it fast. In fact, I questioned in my video, I said, does it now make it slower? Because it's got to do that extra search to whatever. Maybe in some ways you could squint a little bit and say, well, there's less context, so it's got less information to process. Maybe there's something to be said about that. But what I do have a problem with is 10x. And I know we say it in conversation when we're oh man, I was like 100 times faster this morning on my run. I know we say it in a, what's the word, colloquial way. We say this sort of stuff. But when you're putting information out there and you present no facts or no statistics or no testing to say 10x, then it becomes a problem, especially if you're a news source. Do you know what I mean? We just throw stuff out there. And more for me at the end of the day, because I'm the one getting pissed off with it, because the youth of today the folks at home, they're not picking up on the absurdity and the destruction of what this actually means, because it means that when you say stats or when actual figures are put out there, you then ignore them. And you don't really process them in the same sort of way. Cancer rates have dropped by 10x. Like, they're just saying that. No, this is a big deal. You know what I mean? Like, it's...
I know exactly what you mean. I don't want to get political. I just say that if you look in the world, what's happening, you see that everywhere. It seems like we're moving towards where truth doesn't mean shit. Like saying, you just say things and you don't cite, your sources. You don't care about like the truth anymore. Essentially, you don't care about like the scientific method. You don't care about any of that. You just make up things, and you can't base everything on your feelings, like how you feel today, and you just go on about make decisions based on that. And I think we were on a different path. I tend to not think like that society has a downfall. I tend to not think that way, but it's getting really, really difficult to not see it that way, because more and more misinformation is being shared, and people are getting more and more lazy about it, or like they just straight up don't care that. Because I do care. I don't want anyone to come to me and give me some bullshit explanation of something. If somebody in your like personal life or like in your circle gives you bullshit, you shouldn't take it. You shouldn't allow people to bullshit you. So why do we allow that on a bigger circle that we have, which could be social media, it could be geopolitics, it could be companies, with our data, whatever it is. We should be a bit more, should just care a little bit more about that.
Another message to everyone is like, don't put humans on such a high pedestal either. Like, AI is good. It makes mistakes. We talk about the easiest example I can give is hallucinations rate, right? Hallucination rate. Humans hallucinate all the friggin' time. We're hallucinating, like, probably more. So we get on our high horse about like, what did I see today or yesterday? AI made some silly. I was watching like an historic video, which is really cool, really interesting way to showcase AI, in that someone does historical videos, and he was doing one about Lisbon, and he's taking paintings and sketches of Lisbon way back in the 1800s, and then animating them with AI. And I think this is a really nice way to like visualize Lisbon back in the 1800s, or probably even earlier than that, probably 1500s, right? He's very obvious about the fact that there's AI. And then there was one scene where the flag was like a different flag, or it was the wrong flag that AI had obviously, whatever. And then there was this big onslaught of people laughing, and they think AI is going to like, rule the world, all this and that. It's like, Jesus Christ. Like, if you're going to use that as a reason why AI isn't going to rule the world, or this or that, I bet you're completely unaware about how many paintings, sketches, or stories, or written scripts, or whatever, that humans have just got totally wrong.
Yeah.
But you just don't know about it. But you're then like getting on your high horse, pointing your finger, AI is so shit, I'm perfect. It was just so funny to me. Like, obviously I see both sides. I understand what they're saying.
But we have methods for that. We have the scientific method to basically use tools to replicate, and then make sure that that we know that we hallucinate, we know that we get things wrong, but we have ways to get better at it and do better. And all I'm saying, we should question it, like what
we should, absolutely.
Just question it, and absolutely. It's fun. I like it. It is fun to question stuff and go and learn.
This is part of a larger conversation on my show, Command AI, which we stream live every single week. We discuss the news and all things related to AI in the world of design and web. Catch us next week and join in the banter.